Hello, genealogist. It's Craig, and this is Just Genealogy. I was asked the other day what a Treasury warrant was. So I dug into my collection and I found some. So, what's a Treasury warrant? Well, it's a check. Simple as that. The difference is when you write a check, it's called a check. When the government writes a check, it's called a warrant. So let me show you some samples of some warrants. Some of these are my favorites. So this is one for $50 million to Sir Cecil Spring Rice, Ambassador Extraordinaire and Plenipotentiary of the Government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, and is dated 11 September 1917. So the Treasurer of the United States, using a Treasury settlement warrant, is sending $50 million to Great Britain, probably to help to prosecute the war. At that time, that would be World War I. Here is one for $1,564,814,126.76, and it's being paid to the Treasurer of the United States. And this is a public debt accountable warrant. So this is money being paid by the Treasury to pay off public debt. And it's dated 1920. So this is probably debt resulting from World War I. Now this one's a little bit different. It's for $2.40. And it's made out to William J. Scott, April 28, 1908. And William J. Scott is a pensioner. And this is an interior pension settlement warrant. At this time period, the Department of the Interior was responsible for pensions. And he lives at Rural Free Delivery, number 1, Boston Lake, New York. And the best part about this is there's a back to this check. And there's a signature on the back of the check. You can also see what bank it was drawn on and all that kind of stuff. Just like the checks you used to get, if you're old enough to get checks. Here's another one. Henry Witt, April 28, 1908, for $75.47. He's living in RFD 2, Champaign, Illinois. And this too is an interior pension settlement warrant. So he also is a pensioner. Actually, I was looking for my great-grandfather, William Franklin Scott, in the Chicago pension office. And I found him there. And I found payments there. And when I went to look for the warrant for his payments, it wasn't where it belonged. And I didn't have as much time as I wanted to have to keep looking. But based on his pension, I had a warrant number and a date. And when I looked in that set of warrant numbers and dates, it wasn't there. So it has to be somewhere else. These two warrants are found in Record Group 217, Entry 48 or 48A, which are called warrants. And there's a finding aid to which pension offices are in which boxes in the National Archives. And I'll do a video on that as soon as I get back to the archives and test it out properly, because you can go down a lot of rabbit holes in trying to find these checks. But basically, these are the last and final payments of Civil War pensioners. And here's the back of Witt's check, and you can clearly see the paid Chicago, although it's in reverse, in this check. So these checks exist, but they're a real pain to get to. They take a lot of time, and you have to handle a lot of records to get to them. Here is one more for $500,000, and this is an interior pension accountable warrant. And now no pensioner is getting $500,000. What this is the assistant treasurer is being paid pension money so that he can distribute that pension money to guys like my great-grandfather at the Chicago office, or like Henry Witt. So there'll be a warrant where money is being put into a pension agency, and then there'll be the individual warrants where the money is dispersed to individual pensioners. Sometimes they have to pay an attorney. And this is an interior pension settlement warrant for $10 for an attorney. And this attorney, notice the PO address is city. That's because the attorney is in Washington, D.C. Now, these aren't the only kinds of warrants that exist, but these are generally what Treasury warrants look like, if they're not in letter form. In other words, these are Treasury warrants after the age of checks. Before the age of checks, they were letters, and I'll try to hunt up some of those. But these are the easiest ones to see because these are actually checks. Now, there are other kinds of warrants, and I'll throw one out here right now for you. This is a land office military warrant, which was part of the Commonwealth of Virginia. So this is a Commonwealth of Virginia land office military warrant found in the records of the General Land Office. Not the same thing, but still a warrant. So this has been Craig. This has been Just Genealogy, where we're converting people doing genealogy into genealogists day by day. If you've got a question that you want to ask, all you have to do is ask it. I'll try to put something together. I've got the questions stacked up right now, but another question wouldn't hurt me in the least. Some questions are easier to answer than others, especially if I can find the material that I'm looking for. I'm now reorganizing all of my photographs and all of my research scans so I can find things more quickly. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We're 1/3 of the way up to 1,000. I invite you to invite your friends to Just Genealogy. Don't forget to hit that bell so that you'll be notified when a new thing comes out or when we have a live stream. Live stream is on the second Wednesday of the month, and we'll try to get better at it. Because right now we're not very good at it, but we're working on it. So, this is me signing off for another day, and I will see you tomorrow.